Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebunlomo Adekunle. The Independent National Electoral Commission has extended the deadline for collection of permanent voter cards across the country by additional 2 weeks. This is in spite of attaining 80% collection ratio nationwide. The Commission said in a statement issued by the spokesman for the INEC, Chairman Kayode Idowu, that previous collection, which was to end on March 8th, will continue till March 22nd. It, however, noted that this would be the last opportunity for duly registered persons who are yet to collect their PVCs to do so before elections scheduled for March 28th and April 11th end. A Benin-based media organization, Independent Television, ITV, owned by a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, the Esama of Benin Kingdom, was last night gutted by fire. The fire, which razed the entire studio, destroying equipment worth millions of naira, was said to have started some minutes after 9 o'clock on Saturday night during the broadcast of network news, although no life was lost. The report.
The acting general manager news, Abiodun Mudashiru, who narrated the incident to sympathizers and the state chairman of the PDP in Benin, thanked them for their solidarity and said security agents were already investigating the incident.
This past night, last night, when the network news was going on, that the operatives observed that there was an explosion in this studio. The operatives normally sit behind this wall with their equipment. So when they heard small explosion here, they decided to come and investigate what was wrong. In the process of doing that, they said the roof just came down once with huge fire. And that was how there was confusion and the place was engulfed. So that was what happened in a nutshell.
The ITV studio is now a shadow of itself as a result of the inferno, while other offices on the same building touched were rescued. Marks indicated that a fire incident must have been carried out by saboteurs who gained access through the fence.
Of course, we called the state fire service, the University of Benin fire service, and the military too, the army, Nigerian army, police sent their firefighters to come. In fact, it was their effort that prevented the fire from extending to the other parts of the building.
Chief Dan Obi, the state PDP chairman, who commiserated with management of ITV on the incident, alleged that the APC-led government was behind the dastardly acts, saying that the proprietor had informed him of threat to his media house. He therefore urged the police to bring the perpetrators to justice.
I still want to restrain myself from jumping into conclusions. I still want the security agencies to swing into action and at least let the public know all those who are behind this. But for me, I can confirm that on several occasions in the past few weeks, there have been threats from government functionaries and those who are key actors of the APC government in Edo State to the proprietor of this station, saying they were going to deal with him. In fact, he informed me that the son, the former governor, was called by the governor and he told him in very clear terms that they were going to take very serious action against ITV. You will recall that in the past few months, government had cause to even send them out from reporting government activities. And I'm not surprised that now we are in a situation where they don't even want them to report anything in Edo State.
The state APC chairman, in his response to the PDP allegation, described the incident as unfortunate and that the party, despite having issues with state government, was resolved, but that the party could not have done that.
To trivialize such a serious and unfortunate incident to a point of politicizing it, in my opinion, is most wicked of him. Not necessarily to us in the APC, but even to the owner of that station. When you consider the huge investment in that place. Yes, it is true that recently we had issues with the station and their policy or hostility towards our government. And government took appropriate steps. I know as a fact that efforts have been made and a lot of success has been recorded in reconciling the issues. So if we didn't do it at the height of hostility, why would we do it now that there is relative peace between Chief Igbinedion and the government of Edo State? I think that's a very stupid allegation to make at a point in time like this.
Meanwhile, on Mosadei, Igbinedion, daughter of the owner of the station, assured that in the next 48 hours, the station would bounce back, adding that no matter the sabotage, it will not derail their focus ahead of elections.
To move on and fight on, because success, victory is certain. I can smell it in the air. And certain obstacles will always come, you know, as you get closer to the finish line, and I think this is just one of them, but it's a stumbling block that I am ready to cross. And I urge my supporters and the people of Ovia to please keep steadfast. We may be off air for the moment and you may not see as many adverts on television, but indeed we're moving forward, and by the grace of God we'll be up again in the next 48 hours. They will not truncate my destiny and they will not stop our victory.
It will be recalled that the state government and management of independent television had a rift over policy issues in which ITV reporter and cameraman was barred from covering government house activity a month ago and was later resolved. With this incident, the last is yet to be seen.
The Borno State Police Command in Maiduguri has confirmed the killing of 58 persons after multiple blasts in different locations of the town. Commissioner of Police Clement Adoda says a total of 139 persons were also injured during the blasts. Adoda confirmed the explosions through improvised explosive devices occurred at 3 locations in Maiduguri. The first one was at First Gate of Baga Road Market at about 11:44. The second was about 12:30 at Monday Market, while the third was at Borno Express Park at about 12:52. He added that normalcy had since been restored to the affected areas. Eyewitnesses confirmed that many children were among the dead and wounded in the explosions that hit 2 crowded markets and a busy bus station. And following the multiple blasts in the state capital, Borno State's Governor Kashim Shettima has cut short his campaign trip across the state. The governor, who was in Marama in Hawul local government area in the southern part of the state on a campaign trip and to inaugurate the Food for All initiative in the area, left the venue of the occasion at about 3 p.m. when he was informed of the incident. He noted he did not depart the ground until an imam and a pastor prayed for the peace of the land, the reports of the dead and the quick recovery of the injured. The Borno State government has advised internally displaced persons whose communities had been reclaimed by the military to exercise restraint in rushing back home. This is in view of the fear of dangerous reptiles and landmines planted by suspected Boko Haram insurgents in such communities. Haruna Michelia, the Commissioner of Housing and Rural Electrification in the state, gave the advice while addressing newsmen in Maiduguri. Michelia says, though it was the wish of the state government for IDPs to return home quickly, a number of measures had to be taken to safeguard their lives after returning home. It says the government was not unmindful of the discomfort the displaced persons were passing through at the IDP camps, as he described as premature the calls by some individuals for the IDPs to return home immediately. Eligible voters in Kano on Saturday turned out in large number to verify the functionality of the card readers the Independent National Electoral Commission intends using for the general elections. The 54 card readers deployed for the field test in Damaliki ward in Kumbotso local government area of Kano were effective with little or no technical hitch in the exercise. Resident Electoral Commissioner Mukaila Abdullahi told journalists that early mobilization of its personnel and logistics were crucial to the success of the operation. He explained that INEC would not deny any voter the right to vote on any technical ground except if the permanent voter cards did not belong to the
so
voter.
far so good. As you can see, the turnout is quite encouraging. People are cooperating. They are joining the queues in an orderly manner, and the accreditation is taking place smoothly. Only that there are some few challenges of the inability of the machine to capture some of the fingerprints, and that is taken care of by the filling in of the incident form. So we have already anticipated that, and I think we are on course.
On the whole, on the basis of what I have seen so far, I can say that the card reader works. And it represents a strong value added on the previous modes of elections. We've also noticed a few problems. And it's a good thing that INEC is rolling this system out now under more realistic conditions so that they can take back the report that they get from the field and try and address them.
The mock accreditation of the exercise the Independent National Electoral Commission organized on the use of the electronic smart card readers in the general elections has come to Ekiti State. The accreditation process, according to our correspondent Rashid, was accomplished in record time despite the low turnout of the Ekiti registered voters for the exercise.
The largest ward in Ekiti State with 46 voting points and 14,461 registered voters with permanent voter cards played host to the mock accreditation exercise of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The low turnout of electorates notwithstanding, the field test ran under peaceful atmosphere with electorates coming out to verify their voter cards. Of particular importance is the time frame at which each accreditation will take, which is one of the focal points of the simulation exercise. Electorates speak on this.
Is there, they test the card, and my name is there on my photocopy. Just 10 seconds.
I like the process, and it's very quick and very fast. No delay.
So like how many minutes?
7 seconds. 7 seconds.
Though the accreditation timing range between 10 to 15 seconds might have been established, the low turnout of electorates made the survey to be limited, for there are no significant peculiar case. This, however, according to INEC chiefs, is no barrier in achieving the aims of the exercise.
The idea of presenting this machine is actually to detect mistakes, if any. And that's one of the issues we have said. We said we report it normally because there is an incident reporting form where this thing is catalogued. But of course, it looks to me now that it's important that the Commission will have to take a uniform stand on the issue. We'll file our report, and a decision will be taken on it.
On the basis of the fingers not be authenticated, nobody is going to be disenfranchised. And that's why we have mitigation strategies to combat just in case of certain unforeseen circumstances. And these are unlikely things to happen. They will not, if they happen at all, they will just be 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15 cases.
Other concerned stakeholders like the police says the mock test is not only for INEC but also for their various institutions.
So far so good. Everywhere is calm. I'm very much impressed with the activities, especially the activities of my men. It's also a test run for Nigerian Police Force to show our capability to hold ground when the actual moment comes.
People are buying into the card reader machine because they have experienced the practicality and workability.
With the exercise carried out, electorates bear their minds on its eventual usage at the general polls.
It's a wonderful exercise. At least we came here, we used the machine, within 30 seconds, we are through. And I believe it's the perfect thing we should use for the election.
As Nigerians await the final stand of INEC on card readers, observers note that the exercise is a litmus test of what to expect at the forthcoming general elections. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
The People's Democratic Party has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to tell Nigerians the outcome of the Saturday's testing of card readers. It nevertheless says it has noted series of complaints from Nigerians regarding reported lapses experienced in the testing of both the permanent voter cards and the card readers by the Commission. PDP National Publicity Secretary Olisa Metu, in a statement, says the worrisome fallout from the test vindicates earlier widespread calls by stakeholders that the card readers should be thoroughly tested to ascertain their workability for free, fair and credible elections before being deployed for the actual purpose. Metu expressed worry over the alleged reported lapses, which he says included but not limited to non-verification of voters' fingerprints even after authenticating their PVCs, slow accreditation process as a result of poor internet server operations in some locations, and apparent inadequate knowledge of the card readers by both INEC officials and voters. He restated that INEC must realize that Nigerians expect nothing short of error-free and transparent process for credible elections come March 28th and April 11th. Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Plateau State Chapter, has protested non-availability and unequal distribution of permanent voter cards by the Independent National Electoral Commission in the state, saying if left uncorrected, it could damage not only the credibility of the whole election, but the good intention of INEC. The state chairman of CAN, Reverend Soja Bewarang, and other senior clergymen in the state led some members of the association to the state headquarters of INEC on Monday to protest the unequal distribution of PVCs in the state. The members carried placards with various inscriptions denouncing the commission for shortchanging the state. Addressing the state's resident electoral commissioner along with other principal staff of the commission, the state CAN chairman, Reverend Bewarang, said the visit was further to underscore the conviction that if the anomaly were not corrected forthwith, the entire process to the risk of worldwide condemnation, as a big shadow would have been cast on its fruitfulness and capacity. The rector of Plateau Polytechnic, Barkin Ladi Dauda Gemang, says it is considering the closure of the institution's centers located in some local government areas of the state. This, it says, was part of the institution and staff of the Polytechnic to defend their 2015 budget before the Plateau State House of Assembly Standing Committee on Education at the ongoing budget defense by the ministries, departments and agencies in the state. Gemang, while explaining the rationale behind the proposed closure of the study centers before the House of Assembly Committee on Education, chaired by Honorable Joe Dawam, says lack of quality manpower to man the centers is a key factor that should be considered. He further explained that the centers would be converted to skill and acquisition centers to complement the institution perennial center, which is in an advanced stage of completion. Chairman of the committee, Joe Dawam, Speaker, House of Assembly Titus Alams, expressed concern on the fact that most capital expenditure in the institution avail over from 2014-2015, which signal power implementation. They, however, called for more realistic budget in view of the short lifespan of the present administration. The committee advised the Polytechnic to liaise with the Industrial Training Fund for the establishment of the proposed skill acquisition centers. It's the CoreTV News at 7. We take a break and we return with more reports. Please stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Thank you for being there with us. And for more news and other information, you can visit our social media platforms. On Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, never space the news. President Goodluck Jonathan on Saturday promised to set up a special fund for the sporting community if he gets a second term in office on March 28th. He made this promise at the end of a fitness walk that saw him trekking from the presidential villa to the Eagle Square in Abuja. President Jonathan was accompanied by government officials, including Vice President Namadi Sambo and Senate President David Mark. He told the gathering that the special fund would serve as a stopgap for training before budgets are approved.
Sporting is something that we must encourage because it brings unity. Another thing is that sports really project the name of this country. I remember in year 2000, I was a deputy governor and I thought I was a very big person as a deputy governor. I led the Bayelsa State team to the Sydney Olympics. When we arrived in Sydney at the airport, the immigration officers were asking whether I was a footballer. They didn't want to know whether you're a governor or deputy governor. It was not important to them. But they wanted to know whether I was a footballer. Because then Nigeria was quite good in soccer. So sports gives a big name to a country and must encourage you. And of course, sports also create jobs for young men and women and must encourage you. And that is why when I see retired athletes, people who have made name for this country, living a life below average, I feel touched. And we must set up funds to make sure that nobody who have made this country proud will be a beggar.
I had a journey, I have a story, and we all are, as I said earlier, we are captains, we've won trophies, but my journey is peculiar, and yours is peculiar too. When I was about to achieve the 100 caps for Nigeria, my coach here called me. I was confused. I said, I think I've played for so many years for Nigeria. I didn't really know what it was all about. Coach Osinegova called me and encouraged me not to stop, that it was a great mileage. He said I had a mission and I have to accomplish it. You encouraged me. You encouraged the football sector. We won the Nations Cup. I got the 100 caps, and now you have a mission that is also unaccomplished. You have set a platform, a legacy for people to build on. But Mr. President, who the sports people are telling you that we cannot let you go until you fulfill your mission.
The All Progressives Congress campaign organization has made a formal complaint against First Lady Patience Jonathan, who during a rally in Calabar, Cross River State last week, called on PDP supporters to stone anyone who came to the state asking for change. The party says a letter of complaint signed by River State Governor and Director General of the campaign team, Rotimi Amechi, will on Monday, March 9th, be dispatched to the International Criminal Court, the Inspector General of Police and the National Human Rights Commission. According to Governor Amechi, the president's wife, through a comment, clearly called on PDP supporters to attack APC supporters chanting the party slogan of change. The party likened some of her inciting statements and conduct at campaign rallies to those of Mrs. Simone Gbagbo, wife of former president of Cote d'Ivoire, Laurent Gbagbo, prior to that country's 2010 election. APC argued that even though the position of First Lady is not recognized by the Nigerian Constitution, the manner Mrs. Gbagbo's case was treated at the ICC shows its awareness of how someone beyond formal governmental and military hierarchies can be identified as responsible for serious international crimes. It also noted that the First Lady's comment not only contravenes the laws of the land, but also goes against Abuja Peace Accord jointly signed by President Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari. And that's it on CoreTV News at 7. Join us again, 9:45 for the primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Ebun Lomo Adekunle.